right. Um, I'd like to take this opportunity and discuss the questions in the sample midterm exam. Okay, so question number one. You just bought this first floor of the famous eggplant building for $250,000. You plan to rent this space to convenience stores. Your banker has offered you a mortgage with the following terms. So the mortgage, the loan you're taking out is $250,000. Okay, and it's a monthly mortgage payments. So the compounding frequency parameter is 12, and it's actually for 3 years. Okay, so term in years. It's a 3 years. Okay, so that's 36 months, and it's actually starting 1 month from now. So that's ordinary annuity, and mortgage rate is 8% per year, but it's compounding monthly. Okay, and we also have the initiation charge, and that's actually a flat rate of 1,500. All right, and then you also have 1 point. So this is 1 point. And this is asking, first of all, what's your monthly mortgage payment? All right. And secondly, what is the EAIR? All right, EAIR of this mortgage. And finally, the loan amortization table. All right. So these are the questions, and our brief analysis is, this is a mortgage with points and fees. All right, so we're going to apply EAIR as the golden standard to measure how costly this mortgage is. All right, so for that matter, let's look at part A. So your monthly mortgage payment, this is the constant cash flow in this ordinary annuity. So you can do a payment function here. All right, so the rate is 8% over 12. You're using monthly interest rate. It's 36 or 3 years times 12 months per year. The present value is actually the 250,000. Okay, that's the loan. So it's a cash inflow to you when you take out this loan. Future value is 0. So that is your monthly mortgage payment. All right, $7,834. Okay. And do you see I have been careful to consider the monthly interest rate, to count number of months, and to use the loan as the cash inflow and as the present value. All right, so the EAIR. So to find the EAIR, the methodology is always, construct the cash flows from this mortgage. Okay, so I'm going to do it here. So this is actually for a total of 36 months. So let me build a 36 period timeline. All right, so Excel can certainly do that, and that's actually too much. So let me just get rid of this and get rid of this. I don't need to purge everything. I just need to make sure I have 36. Okay, all right, and let's look at the cash flow per period. All right, so you know that you're going to borrow $250,000, and you're going to pay off this loan by making it this installment. All right, so this is the cash outflow every month in month 1 through month 36. Okay, so the tricky part is, what is the cash inflow today? This is now talking about the points and fees. So remember, the existence of the points and fees, this apparently affects the cost of the mortgage. And this also creates the difference between the amount you borrow and the amount you get. So the amount you borrow is $250,000. The amount you get is going to be less than that because the bank is going to deduct those points, those fees upfront. So you're going to subtract 1,500. That's the initiation charge. And then you're going to subtract 1% of the amount you borrow. So that's 1% times the 250,000. So in other words, today you're going to get only $246,000. If that's the case, I can look at the monthly interest rate, which is nothing but the monthly IRR, and I'm looking at all the cash flows going from B20 all the way to AL20. All right, and the cash flows only change size once, so there's only one IRR. So let me just skip the initial guess. All right, so that is 0.7583. Okay, and I can convert that into APR, which is the monthly IRR times 12, and I can further convert that into EAR, which is effect function applied to the nominal rate, and 12 as the number of periods in a year. So the EAR for this mortgage is actually 9.488%. Okay, so this actually is much higher than the mortgage rate of 8%. Why is that? Because number one, you're paying monthly. Number two, you're actually paying $1,500 upfront. Number three, you're buying 1 point. Okay. All right. So let's look at part C here. This is actually asking for the amortization table so that you can actually calculate the amount of interest you can report for taxes, because your interest payment is actually tax deductible. All right. So I want to get this, mortgage table, amortization table here. So let me look at the months going from 1 to 36. Okay. So I'm doing a vertical timeline here, and this goes all the way to 36. All right, so I just need to make a stop to see where I am. All right, 34. So I need 2 more. All right, so let's look at your beginning balance for the principal, and then you're going to look at the total payment every month, and then you're going to break this into interest payment and the principal payment. Okay, and then you're going to look at your ending balance. All right, so these are the different columns for your amortization table. Okay, so you start with the beginning balance. Now there are 2 questions for you to think. There's one question for you to think about. Are you going to amortize the entire $250,000, or are you going to amortize the amount you're getting today? Well, I'm going to choose to amortize the $246,000. Why is that? Because I paid $1,500. I paid 1% of the $250,000 upfront. So there's no point in amortizing that. Okay, so I'm just going to amortize this amount here. And the total payment is going to be this number here, but this number is actually negative. So let me flip the sign so that it becomes positive. And I want to be able to copy down, so let me lock down the sub-reference, okay? And let's look at your interest payment in the first month. Your beginning balance is this much, and what is your monthly interest rate? Well, your monthly interest rate is nothing but your monthly IRR, so that's the interest rate you're going to use. Notice here that you're not going to use 8% over 12, okay? So again, I need to lock down that rate, so that will get me the interest payment. And so the total minus the interest, that will go to the principal. Ending balance is going to be the beginning balance minus the principal I paid. So I finished the first month, and I just connect the second month with the first month. So beginning balance for month 2, that's ending balance for month 1. Okay, so everything else is good. So let me just double click. Let me select these things and double click. All right. And if I'm not, mistaken, yes, this loan has been fully amortized by, end of, year 3. Okay. So now I can actually look at all the interest payment here. Your interest payment is actually tax deductible. All right. So I hope this is useful.